You have ambition, but you feel like your days are slipping through your fingers like dry sand. You dream big, but you put off taking the first step as if you had all the time in the world. What if I told you that the gap between your desires and your reality isn't a lack of talent or opportunity, it's cowardice disguised as elegant excuses? Yes, it hurts to hear it, but it's necessary. Most people I've ever met wanted wealth, freedom, and recognition, but when it came time to do what needed to be done to face themselves, their indiscipline, their emotional weakness, their excuses, they hesitated. They procrastinated, and in their procrastination, the empire that would never be built died. You are listening to me now because there is a fire inside you that has not yet been extinguished. You know you were born for more. You feel that there is something great that needs to come out of you and take shape in the world. But between vision and realization lies the swamp of procrastination. And that is exactly what I am here to annihilate. With you, let me ask you a simple question. If I gave you $10 million to do a minimal routine every day for 30 days, would you do it? Of course you would. So the problem isn't your ability or your time. The problem is your lack of urgency, the absence of a tangible consequence. And that's where men die, not for lack of strength, but for lack of pressure. In my youth, I didn't have time to procrastinate. I worked in telegraphy, with quick hands and sharp eyes. Every minute counted. Every message transmitted was an opportunity to be noticed. And when I got my first promotion, it wasn't because I asked for it. Was because my excellence spoke louder than any resume. You know what taught me to overcome procrastination? Poverty, the shame of seeing my mother washing clothes to support the household, the humiliation of seeing my father out of work. Procrastinating, for me, was dying a little more. So I chose to act. And that's what I want you to understand now. Procrastinating is a disguised form of financial and spiritual suicide. You're not just putting off tasks, you're putting off your empire, you're putting off your peace, you're putting off your freedom. Every time you choose momentary pleasure over disciplined effort, you're signing a contract with mediocrity. Don't want to know what separates empire builders from couch dreamers? Brutal, disciplined, daily action. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you're confused. It doesn't matter if you don't know the whole way yet. Walk with what you have. Move even without clarity. Because it is in movement that clarity is born. I have never seen a man standing still find direction. What's more, don't wait to be motivated. That's modern poison. In my day, motivation didn't exist. There was necessity, there was honor. There was a commitment to excellence. And when you commit to excellence, you don't need motivation, you move out of conviction. Do you have ambition? Great, then I'll teach you what to do with it. Turn your ambition into rituals, routines, unbreakable habits. Get up early. Set simple, non-negotiable goals. Eliminate unnecessary decisions. Put your brain in war mode. Schedule your days as if your life depended on it, because it does. When I started Carnegie Steel, I didn't know everything about steel, but I knew everything about efficiency. I knew that details kill giants, that a minute wasted at every stage of production cost millions at the end of the quarter. I optimized every process. I measured every result. I delegated the operation, but never the responsibility. Do you want to win? Then treat your routine like $1 million business. Every morning is a board meeting. Every afternoon is a decisive production run. And every night is a relentless review of your performance. Now listen. Procrastination is born from the illusion that there will always be tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't exist. It's a promised time never made. All you have is now. And if you don't master now, it will master you. You see, I built public libraries because I knew that knowledge without access is a useless privilege. But what good is access if you don't read? What good are books, videos, courses if you don't apply them? Information without execution is intellectual masturbation. You feel busy, but you build nothing. Most procrastinators live in cycles. motivation, effort, discouragement, stagnation, and then it all starts over again. You need to break that cycle now. You need to turn effort into identity. Stop trying. Decide to be. Don't say, "I'll try to wake up early." Say, "I am a man who wakes up early." Don't say, "I'll try to start my project." Say, "I am a project builder." When you change your identity, your actions follow. What about the invisible saboteurs that fuel your procrastination? They live in your beliefs. You believe that it's not the right time, that you're not ready, that you need to wait a little longer. Let me tell you a brutal secret. The right time will never come. Those who wait for perfect conditions die in the queue of opportunity. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Start imperfect. Start afraid. Start even without faith. But start. Do you feel like you need a push? Here it is. Imagine that I am looking you in the eye right now and telling you with all the clarity and strength that a mentor can offer. You have everything. You need to start now, and if you don't act today, you will be betraying the gift that life has given you. I am no longer an internet guru. I am an empire builder, and my mission is to activate the dormant leader, the weary warrior, the discredited strategist within you, because the world doesn't need more regretful procrastinators. The world needs determined builders. Subscribe to this channel now, not because it's a common gesture, but because you need to be surrounded by messages that pull you up, that remind you of what you came here to do. And if you've made it this far, it's because there's still a general inside you, ready to return to the battlefield. Have you ever noticed how clever procrastination is? It doesn't present itself as laziness. It disguises itself as planning, as perfectionism, as "I need to think about it more," as "I'll start on Monday." Procrastination is an expert storyteller. It convinces the mind to postpone empire building in exchange for momentary comfort. And you know what it steals? Your life. Not with one blow, but with small daily thefts. A lost day, a postponed dream, a forgotten goal. And when you wake up, years have passed, and all you have are the ruins of what could have been. But you're still alive, and as long as there's breath in your lungs, there's power in your hands. The big mistake ambitious men who fail make is not a lack of desire, it's a lack of structure. Ambition without routine is gasoline without an engine. You may explode inside, but you won't go anywhere. That's why, at the height of my journey, even as the richest man in the world, I woke up early. I read every day. I delegated only what I had already mastered. I planned every move with military precision, because discipline is not punishment, it's a pact with the future. You need a system, a sacred ritual that doesn't depend on willpower, but on decision. Get up at the same time. Have a fixed reading plan. Set weekly goals. And above all, eliminate choice. When something is too important, you don't decide whether to do it, you just do it. Steel isn't shaped by doubt. It's shaped in furnaces. You say you want to grow, but you still allow yourself distractions. Do you think you can build a legacy and still spend hours on social media, debating with strangers, consuming mental garbage? A brain that consumes chaos does not produce order. Want focus? Eliminate the noise. Uninstall what distracts you. Silence what steals your presence. And treat your time as a precious asset, not as random waste. When I started expanding my company, I had to deal with thousands of decisions, contracts, negotiations, and employees. But I was never a slave to chance. I simplified, I automated, and I trusted only men who had already proven their worth to me. And here's another secret. You're procrastinating because you're too alone. And alone, the mind lies. Surround yourself with people who demand greatness from you. Join men and women who embarrass you with their discipline. Build alliances with people who wake up earlier, study harder, and move forward even when they're afraid. Because alone, you get discouraged. But in the right group, you rise up. This is the importance of what today is called a hyper environment. In my day, We called it a circle of trust. And the rule was clear: only those who delivered stayed. There was no room for mediocrity. And if you're not growing, take a look at your surroundings. You can be sure that someone around you is dragging you into the hole of stagnation with phrases like, "Relax, you can do it tomorrow, you deserve a rest." Not everyone has to win. Run away from those who comfort you in stagnation. Embrace those who push you toward excellence. And understand, you are not a victim of procrastination. You are its accomplice. Every time you hit snooze on your alarm clock, you are telling the universe, "My dream can wait." Every time you choose to watch another episode instead of developing your skills, you are choosing to remain weak. And here's the harsh truth: no one is coming to save you. Not even God will do for you what you need to do with the tools He has already given you. Want a plan? I'll give you one right now. Wake up every day at the same time, no exceptions. Train your mind to understand that a command is a command. Set aside 30 minutes every day to read something that expands your business, leadership, or mindset. Make a nightly list of 3 non-negotiable actions for the next day. And do them as if your reputation depended on it, because it does. Remove all notifications from your cell phone. Turn it into a tool, not a tyrant. And finally, record your progress every day. Because perceived progress is fuel for consistency. That's the foundation. Simple, yes, easy. Never, but everything great is simple. And everything mediocre is overly complex. The weak mind looks for excuses. The strong mind looks for systems. And remember, the goal is not to become a robot, it is to become free. And freedom only comes with mastery. Mastery over your time, over your body, over your emotions, over your mission. The man who is a smiling slave. He thinks he is free because he does what he wants. But in reality, he is dominated by impulses, distractions, and fears. Do you want to be free? Master yourself. You are here because there is an empire waiting to be built, with your name on it, but you need to act like your life depends on it, because it does. And if not for you, then for those who come after you. Your children, your grandchildren, the next generations who will drink the water you dig now. No more procrastination. No more rationalizing. You already know what you need to do. All that's left is to decide that now is inevitable. And if you feel like this video is speaking directly to you, it's because it is. Because I didn't come here to entertain. I came to awaken. I came to summon. I came to command the sleeping giant inside you to rise and take the throne of your existence. Now, before you continue, I want you to comment below. I am ready to build. This isn't just engagement, it's a public declaration of commitment. Write it down. Declare it, and feel the weight of responsibility that comes with stopping playing with your destiny, and starting to lead it. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it now. Not for me, but because your mind needs to be fed every day with ammunition to win the invisible war against complacency. Here, each video is a sharp blade to cut the ropes that bind you to the weak version of yourself. Now that you've started moving, the most dangerous moment has arrived, the middle of the journey. Here, many return to the couch of stagnation because they realize that change requires continuous effort. Here, many give up because they discover that motivation doesn't last and that the initial excitement fades away. But listen, it's not the most motivated who win, it's the most resilient, the most disciplined. Those who keep going even when everything inside them screams to stop. When building an empire, whether it's made of steel, ideas, or impact, the beginning is always chaotic. Progress is imperceptible, mistakes are constant, and the fruits are invisible. But there is something that has always guided me through these phases: silent faith in the process. The unshakable certainty that consistency transforms clay into a monument. When I started to consolidate Carnegie steel, many said I was crazy to invest in technological improvements before even securing high profits. But I knew what few understand. Efficiency is the secret to empire. And efficiency is born of habits, not desires. A well-executed process, repeated with discipline, is worth more than 1,000 brilliant ideas abandoned halfway through. Do you want to know why you procrastinate? Because you are still trying to rely on willpower. But willpower is like a match. It lights up quickly, shines brightly, but goes out in seconds. What sustains your journey are structures. It is the system. It is the ritual. It is the pact with the invisible. The decision to continue even without results, even without applause, even without confirmation. Do you want to grow? Then understand this. You need to eliminate the time between intention and action. Thought about it, did it, imagined it, started it, decided, did it. Every second spent between the idea and the movement is an invitation for fear to enter and doubt to set in. Procrastination is a close friend of doubt, and doubt is the poison of builders. Remember something fundamental. You don't need to trust yourself to act. You need to act to start trusting yourself. Self-confidence is not a prerequisite, it is a consequence. Every small commitment fulfilled, every habit maintained, every day overcome, that is what builds true inner power. And don't believe the modern mantra that you have to be ready. I wasn't ready when I took on million-dollar contracts. I wasn't ready when I took on the leadership of hundreds of men, but I did it anyway, and it was in doing that I became. Do you want to be respected? Start behaving like you are, even if no one else recognizes it yet. Even if it still seems ridiculous. You don't need more time. You need more courage. Courage to start, even without security. Courage to try, even when you know you might fail. Courage to persist, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Because, believe me, it is. Today's discipline is shaping tomorrow's strength. Want a secret? There is never a big leap. There are only daily micro-decisions. And the brutal truth is that the man who does not govern his agenda will be a slave to the agenda of others. And this is a very common type of prison. Talented men, full of ideas, but eternally busy with other people's urgencies, because they never defined their own priorities. Procrastination is also a lack of clarity. What exactly do you want to build? Where do you want to go? How much do you want to earn? Who do you want to work with? What will be the impact of your legacy? Without this clarity, everything seems important. And when everything seems important, nothing gets done. You get stuck, bogged down in options. That's why I had a non-negotiable maxim: total focus on a single goal. While the world was clamoring for diversity of opportunity, I invested obsessively in efficiency, mastery, and scale in a single industry steel. And that's what made me unbeatable. Now, apply that to your life. You don't need more goals, you need direction. And you need to sculpt your day like an artist sculpts marble, with focus, determination, and constant elimination of excess. Remove what is not essential, cut what is not mission critical, simplify, delegate, automate, and if necessary, start from scratch, but start with brutal clarity. Do you feel like something is holding you back? It's the guilt of what you didn't do yesterday. And here's another principle of empire: never negotiate with the past. It's already gone. Your only power is in the present. And if you use the present with all your strength, the future will be your servant. But if you waste the present, the future will come as a debt collector. Every empire begins with invisible days. No one applauds the foundation, no one praises the structure. But that's where the secret of greatness lies. You are building something that no one can see yet, but keep going. One day, everyone will see it. And when they ask, what was your secret, you can answer, I woke up every day and did what needed to be done, even when I didn't feel like it, even without applause. That is the mindset that separates leaders from complainers. And remember, procrastination is also a lack of purpose. Those who have a clear mission feel urgency. Do you know why many people procrastinate? Because deep down, they don't believe their dream is worth it. So start by believing, not in the size of your talent, but in the impact your life can have. You are here to make a mark on someone's history. to transform realities, to liberate generations. This conviction is more powerful than any productivity formula, because men with a mission don't procrastinate, they move. Not because they have time, but because they have a calling. So, I ask you now, what is your calling? Are you building something bigger than yourself? Or are you just trying to survive with minimal effort? The world will not be changed by those who seek comfort. It will be transformed by those who endure the discomfort necessary to realize their vision. If this message resonates with you, it's because you needed it. If it challenges you, it's because there is a leader inside you. And if it touches something deep inside you, then comment now. I decide to take action. Do it for yourself, for your new identity, and to publicly commit to your future discipline. Share this video with those you love. Maybe they are also on the verge of losing their own internal war against procrastination. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Here, you won't get easy promises. You'll get steel-tempered in words, structure, clarity, a call to action. You'll get the code for building empires. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Most people would have already closed this video, returned to their empty feed, or been distracted by yet another irrelevant notification. But you're here, and that tells me that something in you is awakening. You're feeling, perhaps for the first time in a long time, that it's possible, that it's not too late, that you can still build something so big, so solid, that the world will be forced to respect it. But be careful. This is the moment when many fall into a subtle trap, the trap of comparison. You start moving, and then you look to the side. You see someone more advanced, more famous, more prepared, and you get the feeling that you're behind, that it's not worth it, that your pace is insufficient. This is a lie, a mental trap, and you need to crush it now. At the beginning of my journey, I saw other men getting promoted faster, winning contracts that I also wanted, but I never lost my focus. Why? Because I knew that consistency beats speed. The empire you build to last is not driven by haste, but by precision. I would rather miss opportunities than compromise the foundation. Do you want a life that impresses, or one that sustains? Do you want quick applause, or real freedom? Understand, men who build empires play for the long term. And the long term requires strategic patience. You will work hard for a long time, without seeing much results, and that's normal. Time tests who really deserves to win. It filters out the curious and crowns the committed. Are you willing to be ignored, discredited, ridiculed for months or years while you build in silence? Are you willing to stick to your routine, even when the results haven't shown up yet? Because if you're not, you don't want success. You want recognition, and recognition before its time is poison. It deceives, it intoxicates, it paralyzes. Procrastination often stems from the ego, from a childish desire for instant applause. But the true builder lives for purpose, not praise. He acts because he needs to act, because he has been called, because he carries a mission greater than his vanity. Now answer me, are you willing to be invisible long enough to become unmistakable? If so, then you've already won the hardest part, the need for external validation. And that, my friend, puts you at the top of the chain of those who will build something real. But I want to go even deeper with you now. There is a quieter, more insidious reason why you procrastinate. You are afraid of becoming who you can be. Yes, fear of your own power, because you know that if you start to take real action, there will be no more excuses. There will be no more victims. There will only be the empire and the responsibility to sustain it. Procrastination is unconscious protection. It keeps you small but safe, mediocre but comfortable, harmless but protected. But if you really want to change, you need to face this truth squarely. Your procrastination is cowardice, disguised as prudence, and cowards don't build legacies. You need to accept, in no uncertain terms, that you are here to lead, that your life will not be a repetition of the past, that your children, if you have them, will not inherit your excuses. that your name will not be another in the graveyard of the unfinished. And that command does not come from outside. It is born on the day you say to yourself, enough. No more sabotaging yourself. No more waiting. No more shrinking. No more listening to a lazy mind. Because inside you there is a force that has not yet been fully activated. Do you know what activates this force? Decision, not will, not inspiration, but the clear, non-negotiable decision that from today, everything changes. Starting today, you will be the man who keeps his promises, who gets up even when he's tired, who starts even without knowing everything, who finishes what he starts, who honors his own word. Because character is doing what needs to be done, even when no one is looking. And if you are faithful in the small things, the big things will come. But if you are not worthy of your small daily goals, why would God or the universe entrust you with something greater? Do you want financial freedom? Start by controlling your spending. Do you want to lead people? Start by leading your routine. Do you want to build a business? Start by being an excellent employee. Do you want to impact the world? Start by overcoming your own discouragement. Every private victory sets the stage for your public victory. When I started donating part of my fortune to build libraries, many thought it was excessive. They said, he just wants attention. But I knew the truth. I didn't donate out of vanity. I donated because I understood that money is a tool to empower minds, to ignite consciences, to break the chains of ignorance. And you, even if you don't have millions yet, can start doing the same. Share knowledge, help those who are one step behind. Inspire by example. That is the most powerful philanthropy, transformation through behavior. Now, I want you to stop for a moment. Take a deep breath and visualize your life 5 years from now. If you continue exactly as you are, where will you be? Still trying, still dreaming, still procrastinating, or finally reaping the rewards of a harvest planted with sweat, discipline, and focus. You need to have such a clear vision of your future that it becomes more real than your present comfort. Because what determines your destiny is not your origin. It is your consistency. Comment now. My consistency will take me further. Write it down, feel it, and repeat it out loud. It's not a mantra, it's a mental command. And your mind only obeys you when you speak with authority. And share this video with someone who is losing the war against procrastination. Maybe they need to hear this voice. Maybe it will save the empire they haven't started building yet. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because every video here is more than just content. It's a tool, it's a strategy, it's fuel for those who are tired of putting off their destiny. Have you noticed that the most disciplined people you know aren't necessarily the most motivated? They are the ones who have become professionals at following through. They treat their routine as a sacred commitment, and that's why they grow. While others oscillate between excitement and laziness. These people, silent and relentless, build empires under the distracted gaze of the crowd. And that is exactly what you need to become: an executor, an achiever, a man who does not depend on emotion to act, who understands that discipline is not something you feel, it is something you cultivate. At my peak, I didn't become the richest man in the world by being the most brilliant. I won because I mastered time. I turned ordinary mornings into eternal foundations, and every hour of my day had an owner, me, not the market, not the news, not others. And when I took control of my schedule, I took control of my life. Do you want to stop procrastinating? Take control of your schedule. If your day is being decided by notifications, external demands, or momentary desires, you are operating as a modern slave, and a slave will never be master of his own destiny. The key is simple. Turn your actions into internal commands. And commands, my friend, are not negotiable. When you say to yourself, I will wake up at 5 a.m. and read for 30 minutes, that is not a request. It is a command. And you need to train yourself to obey it. Because every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken your identity. Do you want to feel powerful? Then start keeping your word. And don't tell me you don't have time. Because that's the most repeated lie among those who fail. Time is not found. Time is built. It is set aside. It is defended. Great men don't have more hours in the day, they have more priorities in their souls. You know what I've discovered over the years? That the biggest saboteurs of productivity aren't external distractions, they're unresolved emotional issues, they're hurts, guilt, frustrations that consume vital energy. So if you really want to win, you need to clear your mental field. Forgive those who have hurt you. Free yourself from what you cannot change. Let go of the dead weight. And direct your strength toward what builds you up. Negative emotion is invisible debt. And those who live in debt on the inside fail on the outside. True productivity begins with a clean heart. And here's something few have the courage to admit. Sometimes procrastination is a symptom of living the wrong life. Doing the wrong work, connected to the wrong mission, the body resists. The mind sabotages, because something inside you knows you're not following your calling. You need to stop chasing what doesn't belong to you. There is a kind of success that looks like victory, but it's prison. Money with emptiness, fame with depression, applause with anguish. Don't trade your essence for acceptance. Don't betray your truth for status. The most powerful empire is the one that is born from within, from the coherence between who you are and what you deliver to the world. You are procrastinating because you are disconnected from your essence. And until you reconnect, you will continue to stumble, even with the best techniques. So I invite you now to be silent for a minute and ask yourself, what was I born to do? And when that answer comes, even if it's subtle, start aligning your routine with it. Procrastination disappears when the mission appears. And understand. Mission is not a task. Mission is destiny. It is purpose. It is the reason you wake up with energy. If what you are doing today does not drive you, change your plan, but never abandon your purpose. You need to build an internal empire before you can conquer anything external. And that empire begins with rituals, with routine, with decision, with sacrifice. Yes, sacrifice. Because there is no empire without sacrifice. You will need to say no to immediate pleasure, to empty invitations, to friendships that keep you in the same place. And maybe that hurts, but it's the price of freedom. I gave up parties. I gave up comfort. I gave up vanity. All in the name of something greater. And you know what I discovered? That there is no such thing as sacrifice. There is exchange. And I exchanged the superfluous for the construction of the eternal. You will also need to exchange. And every exchange begins with an honest inventory. What do you do every day that is killing your greatness? What habits? What patterns? What distractions? What inner voices? List them. Face them. Eliminate them. Because every drop of misdirected energy is one less brick in your castle. And don't fall into the all-or-nothing trap. You don't have to change everything at once. You just have to change today. And then change again tomorrow. And again. And again. Until the new becomes natural. Until procrastination no longer has a place. Do you need speed? Yes, but not to run, to act. Quick action, firm decisions, immediate execution. That's what sets leaders apart from spectators. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for the green light. Get started now, where you are. With what you have. Your empire starts with one step, then another, and another. And when you look back, you'll realize you're already much further than you imagined. Because, while others were thinking, you were building. Comment now. I am under construction. Declare it. Because every construction site needs a sign that says, here, the future is being shaped. And share this video with those who need to wake up. Be a channel of transformation. Multiply this call to action. You may be the trigger for a turning point in someone's life. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. This channel is your base of operations. Here, every word is a brick. Every video is cement. Every truth is a hammer. We are building empires. And empires are not built with excuses. They are built with action. We have reached the end of this journey, and I want you to understand something with all the clarity and strength that a mentor can convey. If you have come this far, if you have listened to every word, if you have felt the blood boil in your body and your soul stir, it is because you are ready, not to listen anymore, but to act, to decide, to build. This video was not made to motivate you. It was made to transform you. We're not talking about another productivity tip, another mental shortcut, another formula that promises success without effort. We're talking about identity, about legacy, about a life that, when it's over, will leave something behind for your family, for your community, for history. You need to decide now if you'll be just another name forgotten or a name inscribed on the walls of impact. What separates ordinary men from extraordinary men is not intelligence, luck, or connections. It is decision. The decision to no longer accept less than you can be. The decision to put on the uniform of responsibility every day and march forward, even without an audience, even without recognition, even without immediate results. Do you think it was easy? For me, no. I saw scarcity up close. I worked since I was 13. I made mistakes. I was discredited. I was called crazy. And yet, I continued, because inside me there was something greater than doubt. There was purpose. And when a man has purpose, he becomes unstoppable. The problem with most people is that they still live as if they have time to spare. But time is a silent and ruthless partner. It watches, it accumulates, it demands, and one day it says, it's over. And when it says that to you, what will you have to show for yourself? Hours on social media, unfulfilled promises, plans never started. Or will you have an empire of discipline, legacy, impact? Don't give me the excuse that your reality is difficult. Mine was too, and maybe it always will be. But difficulty is not the enemy. It is a filter. It separates those who only dream from those who actually build. It refines, it strengthens. And if you endure it with integrity, vision, and consistency, it will reward you with a life that few dare to live. You don't have to change the whole world right now. But you do need to change your world, your home, your routine, your attitude. Because global change begins with one man changing his mind. And here is the final point of this mentoring. True victory is not about others. It's about yourself. It's looking in the mirror and seeing a man who does what he says, who honors what he believes in, who acts even when it hurts, who builds even when he is exhausted. Because that man, my friend, that man is rare, and for that, he is valuable. Do you want to know what success is? Success is peace. It is knowing that you are living in alignment with your mission, that your presence changes the environment, that your voice carries weight, that your family trusts you, that your name opens doors, that your conscience sleeps peacefully, and to achieve this, you need to act now. Not tomorrow, now. Because every minute spent in inertia is a brick torn from your castle. This video ends here. But your construction begins now. Get up, get organized, plan, execute, and repeat. Every day, until the man you admire is the reflection you see in the mirror. And if you want one last piece of advice, here it is. Don't stop, ever. Because if you stop, the world will mold you again. And the world doesn't want your greatness. The world wants your distraction. But I want to see you great. I want to see you leading. I want to see you defeat the invisible enemy of procrastination. And I want to hear one day that this video was the turning point, the moment when the builder woke up, the empire began, and the ordinary man died, giving way to the strategist, the achiever, the master of his own destiny. Comment now. I am shaping the man who will change my history. Because you are, and you are not alone. Share this video with those you love. Spread the flame, and subscribe to the channel, because each new piece of content will be ammunition for your journey. Here, I don't give you comfort. I give you direction. Here, I don't offer easy formulas. I offer real tools. Here, we build empires, one video at a time, one habit at a time, one decision at a time. Now go and build.